Lexington Local. We're here at the DPW with Liz Tucker, who is the lead person for water meters in town.
Yes.
All right. So what does that mean?
That means that every house in town that has water has a water meter in their basement. And in some cases, people have irrigation meters, and that covers their outside water.
Okay.
They're billed differently.
And how many meters do we have?
Over 15,000 combined.
Wow. Oh, so combined.
Yes. So you have domestic and you have irrigation meters.
That's a lot of water.
Yes, it is.
How much water do we use? I'm putting you on the spot. I don't know.
I'd have to look that up for you.
But what, like billions, millions?
Yeah, millions. We
like,
get
well,
our water from the MWRA.
Yeah. So, like, how much water do people use? I really have no idea.
Everybody is very different, but the average for the town is about 15 units, and one unit is grossly 750 gallons.
Wow.
So
15 units
per person per billing cycle, no matter what size, no matter what age. So you would think a family of two would be 30, 100 cubic feet grossly for 6 months, because we bill it every 6 months.
Wow, that is a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's not.
I was just gonna say, what happens to it after it leaves our house? I mean, this is silly questions. I know, like, I should know this, but
because the water is very expensive, and we ship it in. The MWRA brings it in from the Quabbin. Then it gets dispersed through the multiple towns that are on the MWRA, and then after that, it goes out to Deer Island and gets dispersed back into the water column, into the ocean.
So
clean it up.
And then, but that's it. Like, it's not coming back.
No, it comes back whatever aquifers, however the hydraulics is going to be. But our water comes directly from the Quabbin, which is a designated reservoir.
That's a long way to come in a pipe.
Yeah, big pipes.
Yeah. And where does it come into town? Like, is there one sort of?
There's a couple different sites where the water. I believe the water comes in off of. I'm going to say this wrong. I don't know the exact space of where it's coming in. But there's a meter that's designated just for the MWRA that comes into town. Okay. And then we have the big pump stations. We have several pump stations around town that ships the sewage out.
Okay. So what made you get into, like, the water department?
Well, in another life, I was an occupational therapist at a pediatric nursing home, but I needed more stability and a retirement, so I changed jobs when I was 40. Okay.
And how many people are on staff here, like under you, that deal with all the meters?
I currently have 2 young men that I work with directly underneath me, but most of the guys are all cross-trained, so if something happens, we can all help each other out.
That's interesting. What else do people need to know about their water?
We have a new program that's called Eye on Water. It's an app that people can sign up for, and they can monitor their usage both in their house and outside of their house. So they can just click on the button and say, oh, yep, I used water at 7 o'clock this morning because I had a shower. And then if they have a leak, they can sign up for alerts, and it'll alert them, and then they can catch a leak before we catch it.
Okay, I was going to ask you, but you catch leaks too, though, right? I think you caught one of mine once.
I might have.
You called us, and we were like, ice rink, and you said, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, that'll do it. But we try to, some of the severe ones, we try to let people know, but there's many people who don't know, and we have to kind of, they don't believe us when we say it. We have a leak, because I can see it right there.
Because your water's going all day.
Yeah, you can see it, and it sends a signal out 4 times a day. But you can see it down to the 15-minute level after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, if my kid doesn't jiggle the toilet, like, that's
costing
bad.
You money.
Right? That's bad.
Yep.
Right.
It's costing you a lot of money.
So my water hose drips when you turn.
It's costing you money.
A lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So everything should be like
And
tight.
yeah, and these new meters, which this is one of them,
Uh-huh.
they can show. Yeah, you just
It's pretty light.
yeah, it's got no
That's
working parts.
nothing,
Its
right?
water goes right through it, but it has an
Ah.
analog reading on it. Excuse me, a digital reading, so that you can read it yourself
Oh, that's
as well
better.
as sending a signal out.
That's better because sometimes when we have to do final water readings,
Hmm.
sometimes we're like acrobats. Like not
Yeah.
in this town mostly, but other towns where you're
Uh,
like, and what was that number on there?
yeah.
That 17-digit number
Yeah,
that you can't read?
you and I have been balancing on that for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that works out. But
Yeah.
the homeowners can read them just as well as we can in the office. But with this new system,
You don't even
they
have to.
can they can do it on their computer. They can do it on their phones.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Whatever they choose to do,
That's nice.
and they can get alerted
Nice.
before I charge them $9,000.
Right? Yeah. The worst we did was 5. That was harsh. What else do we need to know about our water or our water department?
Our water department, they work very, very hard. They're currently flushing hydrants to keep the water moving.
Okay.
You know, things like dead ends, they have to be exercised once a year so that they can be ready for any kind of an emergency.
Mm.
They fix hydrants. We have our sewer crew that can camera people's
Oh,
sewer lines if there's a problem.
okay.
We fix the the thing. I can't remember the name of the word now.
So if I have like a blockage in my sewer line, can I call you guys, or am I
Yeah, and they
supposed to call the drain guys? Like,
well, if you can't find it, you can call us first, and then they'll come and assess the situation, and
oh,
then if you know you have a problem, then chances are you need the sewer guy. But you can call these guys here, and they can come out and assess it at least,
nice.
and give you an idea of what's going on. Yeah.
And when do you have to wear the vest? All the time?
Yes. It's our
When you're
"Don't
out?
Kill Me" vest.
Oh, because when you're out on the streets, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
people don't pay attention to the cones or the vests and stuff, and yeah, many of us have almost been tagged, even with lights and,
That
you
wasn't
know.
Ashley every time, was it?
Huh?
That wasn't Ashley every time, was it?
No.
Oh,
Why?
she can't see while she's driving,
Oh,
so sometimes
no,
she
but
almost clipped the squirrel.
they've had people go through cones and barricades.
What? That's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah. Just last week, I believe they did.
Really?
Lady drove through the cones. They were working on something, and lady drove right through them. Yeah.
Wow.
Happens.
Scary. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it happens.
well, thank you so much for your
You are
time. This
so
was
very well. I'm sorry I
interesting.
didn't have all the good information.
I think you had plenty of good
Oh,
information.
okay. You can edit it as you need to.
No, we're not going to need to.
Oh.